You'll have to disappear. Okay, so we're starting. Oh, you will need a shoe. You will need a shoe, but I'll give you a moment to get that later if you haven't already brought one with you. Ah, there she is. Morning, Andrea. Andrea's going to get a shoe. Prepared. Right, so starting off with straddle and 90/90s and stuff. Let's start off with some windscreen wipers. So sitting down on your bum, you can use your hands as kickstands behind you, and then just loosely letting the knees fall side to side. Oh, easy start to a Monday morning. Switching side to side. You could go wide or narrow, your choice. And then switching without hands. If you can. If you're falling over, feel free to use your hands. And then coming to rest, and then we're going to go wide. So we're going to go into the straddle stretch. So take the legs out wide, comfortably wide. And we're going to do the switches again. So same thing, but this time we bend slightly and switch. And then as you come back to center, press the legs back out into your straddle stretch. So we bend and switch, back out to straddle before we go to the other side. So each time you just straighten your legs in the middle. That's all it is. And just noticing if you are tighter or more restricted on one side than the other, which is usually the case. As usual, so I'm going to take it over to one side, whichever side you've gone to. You probably notice that your pelvis has gone with you. See if you can sit your butt cheek back down towards the floor. So I'm just kind of sitting back into that back hip, if you like, and then back out to my straddle and then across to the other side. And I definitely bring my pelvis all the way with me on this side. When this is proper tight this morning, I can't sit my hip back down to the floor. So it is what it is. It's been a weekend of sitting in cars for me. Sitting in cars and sitting at a posh dinner. So everything's a little bit tight. Back out to straddle and just keep switching sides. We're just kind of working through it. There's no right or wrong. You play with your positioning. You can bring the legs a little bit narrower. So you're more 90/90, and then see if you can sit the hip back, or you can stick with much wider, longer kind of position. Last couple. And last one. And then come back out to your straddle stretch if you are not already there. we're going to use the power of our own legs to bring us into a cross-legged position. So lift the legs up. You'll need to lean back a little bit, lift the legs, and then cross them as tight as you can and lean forward. So just hinging forward, get a little bit of a stretch into the glutes. And then same thing, take it back out to your straddle stretch. Hinge forward, feel a little bit of stretch into the inner thighs. And then switching, if you can remember which leg you crossed in front of the other. And hinge forward. And same again, just working through. So you want to go as wide as you can. And then as tight as you can with your cross-legged. And try not to use momentum. So I am trying to use the power of my legs, as it were, muscles in my legs. So rather than just leaning back and then using kind of that lean to help me, I am trying to actually lift my legs up before I cross them. And same on the way back, I'm trying to lift and take them out. And you'll know you've kind of got, if you can slow it down, you'll know you've kind of got that movement coming from your muscles rather than from momentum, I suppose. Momentum. Keep switching. And then on this next one, so we go back out to your straddle and then come into your cobbler. So soles of the feet come together and you want to, with the power of your legs, bring your heels as close to your crotch as you can. And then take hold of your feet, leave them where they are, but take hold of them. And it's almost like you're using your arms and your feet as leverage to lift the chest up. So get nice and tall, press the knees down towards the mat, and then try and keep all of that the same as you let go. So I'm trying to stay upright. I'm trying to keep the knees pressing down. All of a sudden it becomes much more hard work. And breathe. And then same again, using the muscles of your legs, take the legs out to your straddle stretch, hinge forward. And then again, pick them up, bring them in, this time without the hands. See if you can find that same position. So now you've got to lift yourself up and push the knees down to the side without the help of the hands getting you there. And we hold. And then release. And you can take your legs, just take them out in front, give them a side to side wiggle, just loosen off the hips. And then coming onto all fours. So coming onto all fours. Just going to do a little bit of rich wrist activation. So we're going to take the hands, so fingers pointing out to the side, and we know the score here. We go side to side, and then round in a circle, and reverse your circle, and then we go fingers pointing back towards your knees. Now from here, this is your choice, right? So I'm going to come up into a plank. So you can either stay where you are and rock backwards and forwards, which is often enough for the wrist, or if you want to try, it's a fat-free plank, you're coming up into a plank. It's hard work, yeah, it's hard work with the hands pointing back. You can probably, if you can't see me quivering, take my word for it, I'm quivering. It's weird how much of a difference it makes. And then slowly down. And again, if you're here, just rock forwards and back, or you could join me in a plank. Just be nice to yourself. It is Monday morning. So if you're coming into the plank with me, we pivot over the toes on one side, pivot over the toes on the other, breathe and hold. And then release the knees back down. And then slowly come off your wrists. Give them a little wiggle if they need it, or if you want to come into that sort of wrist relief position where you bring the backs of the hands together and peel the elbows down. It's amazing how tight we all are through our hands and forearms and things. So wrists shouldn't hurt as much as they do when we do some of this stuff. Anyway, right, so I'm thinking almost like I might need to modify this session to allow the cat to stay where it is. Thinking probably I might be coming off my mat. We're going to come into our plank, elbow touches, wrist touches into a side plank. So I'm going to try it here. Let's see, am I on? Yeah, I'm on screen. So starting off in the plank. So coming to all fours, we're going to do a fat-free plank, coming up, pivot over the toes on one side, pivot over the toes on the other. And let's go with elbow touches first. So right knee to right elbow, preferably on the outside, preferably as high as you can. And then take it back. Left knee, left elbow, as high as you can. And take it back, one more each side. Forward, and take it back, and last one. And then you're going to bring your, left knee down. It's going to pivot out. So you come into that side, sort of half side plank position, really. Arm up to the ceiling. Make sure the bottom leg is as vertical as you can and everything's kind of in one line. And we're going to pick up your right leg so it's in line with your body or thereabouts, and small circles there. Make sure you breathe in. And then circle the other way. I think Julie has the right idea, keeping her camera off. Just imagine she's just sat there watching and laughing at us all, really. Pause with the leg, and then we're going to lower it down, tap the toes to the floor, lift the leg back up without flinging. See if you can lift it that little bit higher, and you'll know if you've got it because you won't drop again. And lower it down, lift it up as far as it wants to go, and then without flinging, so there's no bounce, it shouldn't spring back, lift it up that little bit higher, lower it down, lift, see if you've got any more, lower it down, we've got one more, lift it up, see if you've got any more, and then lower it down. And then we're going to come into our side plank. So your top leg wants to come forward slightly because your bottom leg is going to go behind, or your bottom foot is going to go behind your top foot. So you come into your side plank. That's it, Andrew, you've cracked it. Good, good. Hold it there. Make sure you're not sagging through the hips. And then we're going to pivot back onto our front. So we're coming back into a plank. So the hand comes down, the feet pivot. You might need to do a little bit of jiggery pokery with the hands just to get you back into a nice solid plank. And then we're going to wrist touches. So right knee, left wrist, bring it forward, drive it in, take it back. Left knee, right wrist, drive it in, find the tension, take it back. One more each side. Once you've done those, we're switching to the other side. So the right knee comes down, foot pivots out, left hand comes to the ceiling, and it's your left leg that we're going to take up in line with the body, and then we're going to circle from there. So just little circles, trying to keep the leg as lifted as possible. Try not to fling. And then reverse your circles. And then we're going to toe touch down, leg comes up, and then can you lift it any higher? Toe touch down, leg comes up, and then can you lift it higher? You get the idea. One more, well, sorry, two more. And lift. Last one, up, a little bit higher, and then lower it down. And the same thing, you're going to bring your left leg forward slightly so your right foot can go behind. So you're coming into your side plank. We hold, hold, hold. Breathe. And then pivoting onto or into a plank. So left hand comes down, just regroup, and then we're going to bring right foot outside right hand. So step forward, big step forward. Prying the leg open. So rolling onto the outside of the foot, knee coming out to the side. As usual, you can drop that back leg if you need to, put the knee down on the floor. And then from there, I'm going to bring the, if you've got your right leg forward, it'll be your right arm. So right arm's going to come forward, up and around. So a massive circle. At the top of that circle, you want to open the chest as far as you can. Hand comes all the way around. And then we see if we can put our elbow on the floor next to our foot. And release, and we go again. Big, 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 big circle. Elbow to floor. One more time, big circle. And elbow to floor, if it will. And then step back to plank. And we go again on the other side. Step forward with the left. Prying the knee open out to the side. And then into our circles. So the left arm's going to come forward, up towards the ear, past the ear and around, twisting the chest open. And then we try even to put our elbow down on the floor. Same again, big circle, open the chest to the ceiling, all the way around, and then elbow to floor. One last time, big, 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 big circle. Elbow to floor. And then step back to your plank. And then come down through all fours as per usual. And take the weight off your wrists. So we've got shoes and chairs today. Shoes on chairs. So we're going to do lunges to the chairs. Lunges to a chair. We just need the one. And again, if you don't have a chair or a bed or a sofa handy, just do them to the floor, no problem. And just lunges. How are we doing? Head in camera, yes. Get a better cushion. Excuse me, chaps. being soft with my feet this morning. Tops of my feet get sore. So you need to be far enough away that when you lunge down, you're not coming too far forward with the knee. So setup's a little bit tricky, but you want 1 foot up and then skip away from the chair a little bit so you can see how long this is. Yeah, we all there, more or less. So same thing, straight down as best you can, which means the back knee has to bend and back up. My chair's running away from me. Nice and steady away. So I have a focus, my entire foot is on the floor, obviously. So I have a little bit of a focus towards the heel. So if you really push the floor away with the heel, you'll connect more into the glute on that same side, which is what we're after. A little bit of glute work. Last couple. And last one. And then we're going to switch. The same again, find your setup, which includes balancing, trying to find the chair with your back leg. And then same thing on this side. Bend the back leg. Push the floor away with the front heel. Ooh. Balance is off on this side this morning. Last few. And let's go last one here. And release the back leg. So you need your shoe for this next one of this bit. So coming into a single leg balance. So essentially what we've done with the lunges, I'll waffle while you get your shoes. Essentially what we've done with the lunges, if you open the front of the hip a little bit, work the glute on one side. And now we're going to put that into some kind of practice. So you want your shoe on your fist. You see I've nicked one of Simon's shoes. So let's go, well, let's go right arm up, then I can do left and right. So right arm up, apologies if you did the other side. So right arm's up, left knee is going to come up. And you want to get that knee as high as you can. As high as you possibly can. And then check in here, your right knee wants to be as straight as possible. So if I turn sideways on, what tends to happen for you to get your knee up, you'll do this. Yeah. So the straighter your standing leg, the higher your knee, the more the glute activates. So squeeze that glute, keep the knee straight, and keep the knee high. And then we're going to do 3 presses with the shoe on the fist. You're going to bend the elbow, shoe comes down by your face, and then straighten. Keep thinking straight leg at the back, keep lifting the knee at the front. One more. And release, and then keep the shoe where it is, so it's staying on the same fist, but you're lifting the opposite leg up. So now we've got right knee up, right hand shoe. Check in again, make sure the left leg is straight. And we go again, we're going to press for 3, 2, and last one. And then we're going to release and we're going to repeat on the other side. So shoe on the opposite fist. You imagine this is going to eventually become a heavy weight or a weight of some description. So opposite hand first. So left hand, right knee up. Again, as high as you can. Make sure the left leg is staying straight. Hold your balance and we press for 3. Ooh. And when you put a weight on there, you realize just how much your core and your glutes and everything kind of kick in. That's your third one, and then we switch sides. So left knee coming up as high as you can, right leg staying straight, right glute engaged, and we go 3 presses on that left side. This is all about stabilizing through your center. Lower it down, and we're going to come straight back to the lunges. I can't remember which leg I did first. I think it was that one. So I'm going to bring my right foot back. Not that it really matters. Hop and a skip away from your chair. So you've got a nice long lunge position. Ready when you are, chaps, off you go. You could tell how depressed the cat is because she's not tried to bite me once yet. Last couple. Last one. Hopefully getting a little bit of a burn. Now switching sides. So we've got position, here we go. Straight into it. Focus on the heel. Push the floor away. Ooh, clicky ankles. I hope you can't hear that on the video. Last couple. And last one. And release. And then we're going to come to, you could get rid of your chair if you need to. Mine's in the way, so I'll get shut of it. We're going to come back to your lunge position with the shoe. So we're going to go shoe right hand or right fist. So I can balance it on there, so up to the ceiling. So we're going to step back with the left leg. I'll get me left and right sorted out. So right arm up to the ceiling, left leg steps back. You come into a lunge here. And you're kind of guessing what's coming. Left leg steps all the way forward into balance. Same position, knee high, right leg as straight as you can. Step all the way back into your lunge. All the way up to balance. Step it back to lunge. So we're just holding the balance long enough to prove that we have actually balanced there. Step it back to lunge. Forward to balance. Last one on this side. And release, and then we're going to switch sides. Oh, not easy. Oh, good, the cat's got off. Get rid of that. So same thing, this time shoes on the left side. I assume that my fist is a different shape on this side because it will not balance. That's my excuse. It's not my rubbish balance on this side. So left hand to the sky, right leg is going to step back. Find your lunge position. Take the lunge, spring off that back leg and come up into balance. Same thing, knee high, standing leg straight. Take it back and down you go to balance. Just keep going. Try and hold it. You can play how much you spend some time in the balance if that's where you feel like you need the work. Like for me, my balance is not great on this side, or less great than the other side. Or you could flow through it a little quicker. Oh, lost me shoe. Keep going, couple more. I'll get organized again. And wherever you are, make that your last one. And you can release. Oh, coming down to the mat. Again, let's finish off with some shoulder stuff. So control force first. Let's thread the needle. So left arm goes through. Back of the shoulder comes down. Top arm walks around as far as you can and then opening. Top arm bit to the sky. Release the top hand, bring it around to help push you back out. And then we thread the needle the other way, back of the shoulder coming down, side of the head. Walk the top hand all the way around and then twist it up into the ceiling. And release. And then if you come to all fours, so wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, and then where your hands are, put your elbows. That makes sense, yeah? So where your hands were. So if your palms are flat to the floor now, and I asked you to sink your hips back to your bottom, you might feel a little bit of a pull sort of under the armpit into the lats. Some of us will get further than others, which is fine. And then come back forward and then turn your palms towards each other. So thumbs are pointing to the ceiling and go back again. And what you don't want to happen is for your elbows to start flaring out to the sides. You want to kind of almost feel like you're hugging your elbows. What's that size? A watermelon. Hug a watermelon with your elbows. So when you sit back now, you might find it a little bit more tricky. You might feel more of a pull. Keep hugging your watermelon with your elbows. And then come back forward. And then if you hadn't guessed where this is going, you're going to go palms up. And when you go palms up, your thumb ideally wants to be touching the floor. You might be looking at your thumb and going, that ain't happening. So when you go back, the rules are if your thumb is on the floor, when you go back, your thumb is not allowed to lift. And if your thumb isn't on the floor, it's not allowed to lift further than it already is doing. So as you sink back, you should feel even more work. And depending where you're kind of restricted or slightly less awesome, that's where you're going to find the work. Breathe and hold. Not an easy position to achieve. And then release it back forward. And we'll finish off with a quick pretzel on either side. So coming down onto your side, grab hold, top leg, bottom ankle, pull that bottom leg back. And allow the chest to open up to the sky. Find a relatively comfortable position for your neck and head. You're aiming eventually to get the back shoulder on the floor, the foot, the knee. Eventually. Breathe. And then slowly release. Don't let anything twang. Oh, sorry, cat kicking the mog. I'm going to switch sides. Top leg, bottom ankle. Pull the bottom leg back first. And then allow the chest to open. Something so small, you take up a lot of room, don't you? Breathe and hold. And then again, slowly release out of that. Try not to let your top foot twang. Oh, and that's Monday. Monday done. Well done, chaps. Yeah, we all good. Anybody going back to bed? No, I wish I would. I'm not either. I wish I was. I'll see you tomorrow, chaps. See you later.